Hello YouTube, Nasty Nate AAA here again, bringing you another YouTube video. Today I'm actually testing some changes to my microphone settings. Let me know how I sound, how the audio is, if you guys have any comments on that. I was watching one of my previous videos yesterday and I realized it seemed like my voice was cutting out at certain times, like maybe my thresholds with like the sound compression or whatever were a little bit off, so I went ahead and redid those. So let me know, in the comments what you guys think about the sound quality here. Does it sound better now? Does it sound worse? That's the key thing I'm looking for. I've done some testing and I kind of fiddled with it to what I think sounds good, but I don't know if my own hearing is the best or whatever. So just let me know what you guys think about that. Today we've got another free for all, and of course, if you guys have been enjoying the video so far, go ahead and throw down a like and subscribe for me if you don't mind. We'll be making some more free for alls because I friggin' love these free for all games. I was thinking about why I like these free for all games so much lately, and I realized that this mega random is just so interesting, right? Like anything can happen, any wild turn of events. I kind of like that random nature, playing random civs, and it's almost like a battle royale too in a way. Like playing an RTS in a free for all is like just such a it's an uphill battle. It's a challenge. It's wild. It's random. There's so many things that can happen and go differently from game to game. It just, I don't know. In StarCraft I always played 1v1, but there's just something about Age of Empires playing on these mega random maps, I think, and it's just completely wild, right? Like there's so many things that can happen. It makes the games, spices up the game a lot, and I just really enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep making the free for all games, guys. No plans to switch over to 1v1 or anything like that in Age of Empires, at least. Even though, of course, that's the probably the popular and competitive mode as it should be for most people. So let's see what's going on here. So as you see, I'm the Japanese player. Let's get into this game now. Enough me ranting on about random topics. We see all the players are kind of setting up. We've got both rivers, and we've got a bunch of deep sea fish actually. So you can see, dang, there's a lot of deep sea fish on this map, which I didn't actually know. I think I discovered this one pretty quickly, and found that this blue player here was already on top of it. But wow, unfortunately I did not spawn near any deep sea. I'm up here. You can see from my map, I've only scouted the river. So unfortunately I have a kind of an unlucky spawn, you might say, in this game. In some ways, I've only got a river. I don't have any deep sea. And but unfortunately for me, a lot of these players are really close to each other down here, right? Like this is probably not the most ideal situation for these players. There are three players all kind of next to each other. They're going to probably be fighting early and often. And meanwhile, we see yellow is finally starting his town center. A little bit of a late TC here for yellow. It looks like there was some fighting going on between him and green. So we see, let's take a look and actually see here, because I didn't notice this before. So he only has one worker left, it looks like. And green's coming here with John Dark to come chop this last worker if he can, it looks like. And green himself, let's see, he's also only got one worker, and he hasn't even started his town center yet. And John Dark is his only worker. Okay, so we see some very serious setbacks happening here very early on. It looks like the workers fight each other. I kind of missed out on that. Sorry guys, I was a little distracted with my rant, and we missed some early action here. But as you can see, this is probably a foregone conclusion that both these players are not in a good spot, but yellow especially. Looks like he's going to be the first one going down in this game. Imagine he'll get caught eventually, right? Like, I wonder, does she have a faster movement speed? No, they have this exact same movement speed, but just chasing somebody. Man, it's funny how players will get into these like tunnel vision situations, and just try to ruin each other's chances in the game. I see this happen more often than you'd expect. You'd think most people would want to come in here to win, to try to win the game, right? But it's like they get aggroed on each other You can see now purple here is sending a scout to help help the yellow player out. And oh, finally, there goes yellow. So what is green going to do now? Let's see what happens. Maybe he'll just leave the game. I don't think there's really any point, right? Like he's going to hide his king. He's probably leaving as well. He's the first one out. Yellow is actually just going to do the same. Hide the king somewhere. Very interesting plays there. So, anyways, let's get back into. Okay, so we have a king here. We'll keep this in mind for later. King here. We'll see if either of these, if anything comes of those later in the game. I'm sure the scouts will discover them eventually, right? Maybe not this one, but I mean it's still pretty obvious. It's not like he hid it behind a tree or anything. So maybe someone will notice that. I actually didn't notice this game. I think, or I did notice that people left, but I didn't really make prioritizing finding them finding those extra kills a priority for me, which I probably could have done. I guess I could have made like an early samurai, mounted samurai or something, and tried to find them. But as you can see, they're pretty far from me, and I may not have amounted much. And I actually didn't bother scouting much of the map. I knew there was players right next to me, and I think I decided to give up scouting and bring my scout home and make sure that I'm not getting some kind of early aggression play, because I felt like obviously blue is next to these other players. He might be more interested in fighting them, but he also could potentially decide to come for me since I'm so close to him. But meanwhile, let's take a look at what's going on here in this game. So I've already got 26 boats out at 11 minutes in the game. So I've gone very heavily invested into the water because I know that I want to get into some mounted samurais, and that's going to take a lot of food, right? I've even built my Korra storehouse, like I've kind of blocked it off so that it'll stop making farms and that I can start generating wood faster. I believe is how it works, yeah. So once you can't generate any more farms, it should start making wood, and it'll give you free income as well. But we see that there's not much, surprisingly not too much fighting going on here yet. We can see in the scores here, and also pink and red are actually very close to each other. So I'm actually in probably the most fortunate position here, being a little bit farther away, even though I'm still pretty close to blue. We see that all these other players are probably going to be getting aggressive on each other very quickly here. Pink has a ton of Pink has a ton of boats too. He's looking really good in this game as well. Blue has a decent amount of boats. He made, I think, maybe a little bit too many boats for this. Well, not really. I guess he can make this many. It's kind of a lot to put in this little pond here because this, it's eventually going to run out. But I think it's a little bit much. Maybe I would go with like 15 boats or less, or fewer for this many deep seas. But sometimes it can be worth it if it gets you there faster at least. And we see pink picks up the first kill. He makes a mount samurai and he kills red. So now I'm gearing up for a little bit of attack here, but you can see I have enough money here. I'm about to go into Imperial actually. So I decide instead of attacking right away, I'm going to go ahead and I didn't make enough production buildings to really ramp up here on my mounted samurai, so I'm just going to get my gunsmith out right away. We see I've made a second town center as well. And we're starting to get our army built up. Fortunately, there's not too much early aggression or kills yet happening in this game. We do see both of these kings, looks like here, still not detected by anyone. Interesting. No one's decided to pick those up. Everyone's too preoccupied with fighting each other. And yeah, it looks like we can go ahead and speed things up here since not too much is going to be happening just of yet. I'm trying to grab some of these relics here I found on the map. We haven't gotten any yet, but looks like there's going to be some fighting over that. Maybe I'm not going to make... Oh, just barely going to make it back here. Just barely missed blues. Luckily I rallied my relic away in an angle that helped me out. And now we see some fighting going on here between... I'm not really sure why blue is taking this fight. I guess he definitely can win it, I think. It's just a little bit of a trade that you probably don't want to... yeah. So pretty even fight here. Looks like both players losing a lot of their army supply, but not really making progress. And it looks like purple has scouted out here. Interesting. This is where one of the kings was, I believe, pretty close to it. But so he's made an extra TC out here, but he hasn't scouted anything. And pink is harassing my my docks and my boats here. But I'm starting to run out of food on water. As you can see, there's not much left. I could expand out this way, of course, but you know, that's starting to infringe on other players' territory, and it's not likely that my boats would last too long. But I could probably keep going there. I think at some point I decided to do a bit of a farm transition since I'm only on riverboats. But you know, the riverboats got us where we needed to be, which is, right, like we aged up very quickly. We got our economy going good. And even though our food economy is going to dry up eventually, it still got us to a point where we have a bunch of knights here, a bunch of mounted samurais. We're looking pretty good. And I realized that blue has built a castle down here. So I decided, I think, to use my my storehouse here to make some bombards to deal with that. But we can see blue and orange are just fighting each other here. I'm not sure what purple's doing. He seems to be in a very slow spot. And you can see my own score is way higher than most of the other players. Only two players close to me are blue and pink, but they're still pretty far behind. Because both have taken fights, right? You know, especially blue here, he's still fighting. So he's going to be in a tight spot if we engage soon. And you can see now I made 2 bombards for free here with my, you know, I've stored up some cannons already since I went such a fast age 4. And now we're going to be able to try to push him while he's fighting orange. So this is great for us. I don't know what this player seems to be a bit new. Look at all these workers just sitting here. Wow, purple. My God. maybe he should play some games against. Not to be rude, but maybe he should have played some games against the, you know, against the computer before challenging real players. And we see I'm going for the king. So the king was moved from TC to TC into the Barbican. There it is. He does have some crossbows, but they're only regular crossbowmen. They're not even veteran, right? Looks like. And the king comes out. I've got elite mounted samurais with my cavalry upgrade already. And we take blue's king. And from here, I figure, what the hell? I'm sure these players obviously have been fighting each other. I'm sure they're weak. And I know pink is going to be dangerous. So I want to, you know, I just want to clear out my side of the map first, right? If I can. Things are looking good here. So we're coming in here to orange, and orange just gives up. He realizes these are elite mounted samurais, and it's not going to be looking good. And now I've come down to purple as well. So one after the other, the dominoes fall. We take out purple. As you can see, poor purple here. He didn't fight anyone. He just had really no clue what he was doing. Poor guy. I wonder what his rating was in FFA, if he's played much at all. But he didn't do too well. But this other player, Pink, I noticed I remember when I played this game live yesterday, he was like a top 200 player. I think he had quite a bit higher rating than I did. So I was a little bit concerned about him. But as you can see, let's see, I'm at 180 supply, 108 eco, 70 military. Pink is he's gone more heavy into economy, but his military is still very small. And I was kind of thinking, you know, I want to see what kind of army he has, because I don't know. I know he's also Japanese, but I don't know what he has. And I don't want to take an engagement too soon, but I also, you know, I know I can retreat at least with these knights if I need to, right? And I want to see what he's fielding right now, so I can figure out how to counter that. So we come in here. I decided, I think, to send my bombards because there's a castle here. I figure I can at least push him off this before he gets in position. And we end up walling the river, of course, so that he can't do a run by. Walling here as well. We probably could have, you know, send more walls down here along the river, so this is a nice barrier for me. We're going to come in here. So Pink is starting to gather up quite an army. He's got a couple of Rebel Quins, it looks like. He's used his gunpowder storehouse. And he hasn't yet moved into position for some reason. He's, I guess he realizes this is a pretty big army compared to his. 98. Well, I think he's got a big enough army to face me now. for sure, especially with the Riverboats in here. Elite mounted samurais as well, and some hand cannoners. But he's just not in position, right? Like, so I identify the king is over here, and there doesn't seem to be an army. Maybe he's trying to run by me, is what I think. I haven't seen his army either yet, but he wasn't in the right position there. So you can see I'm coming in here, and I'm like, okay, where's your army, buddy? And his reaction was just a little bit too slow there. And you can see, even though he has a, it's not fully upgraded, the town center. It only had one upgrade, and his king falls out, and he gets picked off. So that's kind of some mistakes made on Pink's part there. He didn't upgrade his town center fully, and he also, his reaction time was a bit slow to respond to my run by. I guess he was not thinking about his king, or he didn't think I would try to do a run by. I'm not sure. I kind of just went for it, and it paid off. So there's the end of the game. Not the most interesting one, I suppose. We just kind of ran over everybody, but I just did want to get at least one casted on this new microphone settings. You know, you guys can let me know what you think about them, and yeah, hopefully we'll have some higher quality videos as a result. Anyways, you can see my his eco was actually quite a bit better than mine in terms of total resource. I think he had a lot more food. I guess he probably did a better transition into farms. He had all that deep water fish too. So, but somehow, even despite having the deep water, you can see my eco count was pretty good here. We even had the best food eco. This is, as you can see, probably like through the water fishing boat phase here is probably where it ends here at 15 minutes, when the ponds start to run dry, and we have to transition. And we see Pink does a very good transition. I didn't do such a great transition to food. My food kind of ran out until the end here, but we did keep a solid military count, which was key. And you see Pink's really dallied here when he after he got age 4, he didn't really make much military. He wasn't holding that production key down, so he didn't catch up until the end. And by then it was a little bit not too late. I think he could have fought me there if he'd been in position, but he just wasn't in the right spot, right? So you gotta always consider that when you're running a composition with units like that are just slower than cavalry, right? You gotta make sure that you're in the right position to defend, and that you won't be taken advantage of by faster moving units. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. We'll see you in the next one.